Thank you all for tuning in to Breathing is Highly Dangerous. We are giving our first breath, working toward and hoping for the next, all the while fearing our last. Welcome to the show.
No.
The event.
A little bit more grand.
The movement.
That's better, I like that.
The movement of the century.
Well, movement, that may be a little bit much. How about a conquest to ferment the ones ignosable that try to impinge their iniquitous veracity to our thoughts?
Here is your host. He puts the U in unusual, the P in pterodactyl. Not just why, he also asked how.
Thank you all and welcome back to Breathing is Highly Dangerous. This is Emmanuel here and I'm joined today again with my sister Chrissy. And today we will be going head to head in moral dilemmas to see which of us is more ethically sound. Today's episode spawns from a conversation that happened in real life. One could say an argument that happened in real life.
Started by him, yes.
I don't argue, I explain. So I said this. You're in a relationship with a person that has a child from a previous relationship. You all commit to each other and have a child together. There is a freak accident that incapacitates your partner, but they are safe and out of imminent danger. The children, however, are in imminent danger. Inaction will mean death for them both. Attempting to rescue them both simultaneously will kill them both. The child you attempt to rescue first will certainly be out of danger, but the other child may or may not be able to be rescued. Which child will you go for first? And keep in mind, the limits to this is that you love both of the children and they are both in an equally incapable position of saving themselves.
You worded it differently this time.
I did word it differently this time.
Because the thing is, you said
because you changed the parameters.
No, because
within the conversation, so I made the parameters certain.
You spit.
Because you tried to work around. So I set the parameters. So you're answering this question.
I guess this is a new question. But he said before, the way he was talking is that the other one will definitely die.
Right. The other one will die.
You said the child may or may not.
Because I'm leaving room for your faith idea. So that's why I put that in there. But it most likely will die.
But there's a chance.
The other child will most likely die.
I will go for whoever's closer.
You, okay, got you.
Because last time I said I would go for both no matter what. Like, either way, you're making a decision of a life, and I'd rather go for both. How am I supposed to know that if I go for both of them are going to die?
Okay,
How are you going to know that in this situation?
Let me present you with both, with that option, with the parameters that need to be made in order for you to make a decision, right? So, the same elements. You're in a relationship, committed relationship, and the person has a child before your relationship. Then you all have a child together. And just like this situation, both in imminent danger, equal distance apart. You can, but your partner can't do anything. They both can't save themselves, and they're both going to die if you don't do something.
Why can't the partner do anything?
Because they're incapacitated. But I said that. They can't do anything. They're incapacitated. But they're safe, so you're not tending to them. But the children are both an equal distance from you, and they are both in an equally disadvantaged opportunity, and they can't do something to save themselves. If the one you go forth and try to rescue will live. The one that you don't go for will die. If you try to go for them both, they will both die. If you pick one will live. If you don't do anything, they both die. And also, if you try to go for them both, they will both die.
I would still go for them both. There is always a possibility that you could save both of them. Why not try?
With my consideration is you have you have this in the immediate situation, you know that if you try to rescue them, like you would want to go for the second one, but you can't do it at the same time. If you try to go for them at the same time, they will die because you can't.
I don't know. Here's my thing.
I'm talking about the situation.
Here's my thing.
That's why it's a moral dilemma. Which child are you going for first?
I've already said my piece.
Are you going for the child that you have blood with or for the child that you don't have blood with?
The thing is, that won't matter to me. Blood won't matter to me if I love both of them.
So you will let them both die rather than having one of them
I would
live.
go for both of them.
And they would both die.
Who says that?
I told you this. So this is what I never even said my answer. My answer would be obviously save my child for the reasons that because in that relationship I love them both. As unfortunate as the situation it is, that I am not nearly as responsible for that child as I am for my own blood child. Even though I love them both, even though I have a connection with them both, my child, my seed, the thing that I have the responsibility for, the thing I created, the thing that took half my energy to create.
I think,
and I am going to risk my life to save something that I created, because this thing would not exist. So the cause of their life, why would I also be the cause of their death? That's what I'm thinking about. Because I brought them to life, and why is it that I can be now the deciding factor to either save the thing I chose to give life, to be able to contribute life to, rather than the thing I did not?
I think that any child in your care deserves equal. They're both equally your responsibility.
It's like saving your best friend or a niece or a nephew versus saving your own child. Which one are you going to do?
Both.
If they were in this position,
I would try for both.
And so you knowing that, and then you would then have to relay that to your partner that I tried for both rather than I tried for one. And this is what I'm considering. What is the grief process? Would you rather mourn one or mourn two? When you know if you go for one will survive.
But I know I tried to go for both because I love them both.
But you tried to go for both when you also knew that if you did go for one, they would both. But listen. One would be alive.
For you not at all trying for the other child.
Christiana, it's not about not wanting to try. It's knowing that
you have a whole nother part of a family that's not related to you.
Imminent danger.
That's over here looking at you sideways.
They looking at me for saving my child, saying, but Christiana,
but you didn't
me
try.
saying I want to go for both. I would say the situation exactly as it is. So if you set the situation exactly as it is, they would look at you as like you didn't even try for one. You said you tried for both, but that means that's trying for both. That's the same as inaction.
No, it's not.
No, it's not.
It's actually not.
Which one would you go for first?
I'd have to know the situation in order to
would you go for first?
Assess that, because these are situations that don't happen often.
That's why I put very specific parameters around it. But so you have you're not asking for detail. You're just trying to get out of it. It's too specific. That's what life is. Life is very specific.
But no, it's not.
Yes, it is.
It's actually really not. This situation is something that's kind of fantasy.
It's not really.
It's fiction.
Because people choose other people over their children all the time, and their children suffer the world. This
is a different type of danger. This is life or death.
But this situation sets a precedent for what you will do in regards to other people as well. That's what moral dilemmas are. So when you set the standard for what you would do with your own child in this particular situation, rather than another person that you don't have the responsibility it translates.
I actually don't agree with you.
You don't think morality translates? No, so that means you have an inconsistent moral.
I think it's case by case.
So and that is how life is. We're talking about this case. So
if you apply what you think on every single thing without thinking about it case by case, then there's something wrong with
there's no spectrum here, because every situation you make a choice. So there's no spectrum of choice. It's either yes or no. That's a spectrum. Yes or no. Yes will have these results. Potentially have these results. No will potentially have these results.
And you can have a maybe. There's a maybe.
There's no. Christiana, the maybe is the results of yes or no. Those are the maybes. Will this happen if you say yes? Will this happen if you say no? But things will definitely happen, and they can't happen if you say yes. And if these things will definitely happen, and they can't happen if you say no. That's the scale.
Face the camera if you're going to keep on spitting on me,
That's the scale. Every decision you make has potential results, but it ultimately will have one result, meaning you're making a choice that will have a definite result. So the fact of the matter, you're saying you would try for both, even though in this situation, going for both would mean death for both of them.
How would
that
I know
means
that?
you're not trying for either. Because that's certain death.
I'm not going to make a choice based on blood or not if I love them both. That's
Who
never
would you
gonna
go
be
for
a thing.
first? It doesn't matter if you want to. It matters what will happen. And then
it's going to be who's the easiest and who's the quickest, so I can get to the other one.
Who's the easiest and the quickest? Which child is that?
Easiest and the quickest to save.
Easiest and the quickest to save. They're both in the same situation.
No, because are the children the same age? Are they the same weight?
I said they are both in the equally incapable position of saving themselves.
Saving themselves. But when saving someone else, a lot of times you think of what situation they are in. Do they weigh the same as a child? Like, do you have to pull them up? Who's going to be quicker to pull up? And then go over there, pull. Like, what do you mean? I said
the child that you go for will be saved. Will be rescued. There's no risk analysis for you. I said the child that you go for will be rescued.
Listen here.
The child you go for, so there's no mitigating risk there. It's like, oh, which one's going to be easier? The one you go for will be saved.
That doesn't matter. I'm talking about.
Okay.
Now, what situation are we in? How are they in imminent danger? Is something falling? Are they falling?
Christiana.
You said a cliff before, right? And I said we would never be on a cliff. Because, first of all, I don't go to cliffs. That ain't me.
Christiana, I said a freak accident happened. You don't expect to be where an accident is. You would be okay with knowing that you trying to go for both would mean they both die.
I don't see how there would ever be a situation where if I go for both, they would both die.
Because there's not enough time to save both. There's only enough time to save one. Cool.
So if I need to rescue them with strength,
you're not answering the question.
Whoever's on my this is how I would go about it.
No, because the
Ain't
parameter.
No way.
You're changing parameters. When I said the parameter is they are equally distant apart.
Listen here to me. For me, it will never be about blood. It will never. Because
it doesn't. So you're gonna flip a coin in your head.
Ain't no coin.
You're gonna do tic-tac-toe.
It's gonna be.
I set the parameter. You're changing it. I said you are
love
equally
them
distant
either
apart.
way.
I'm not. It's not about love. It's about who are you going for first.
Whoever's on my nearest to my left hand.
No, who is that? No. Because I said they're both equally distant apart. They are both at an equally disadvantaged opportunity. The one you go for will be saved. The other one will die.
You said if we're standing like this and I'm in the middle.
No. I said they are both equally distant apart. They are both at an equal opportunity for you to be readily rescued by you if you choose to rescue them.
You can continue to restate this, and I will always say, whoever is closest to my left hand.
Your partner would be devastated either way. But now you would know that okay.
What is it? What is it?
Wild.
Are we married?
I said you're in a committed relationship, and you have a child together.
Why would I have a child with someone? Well, you should have said this before. Ain't no child. The child is non-existent.
Committed relationship means marriage. If that's what it takes for you to have a child.
Yes, it is. Therefore, legally,
so in a child that you have in
I'm
marriage,
their step parent.
So
I'm the step parent.
You have a step parent has no legal responsibility to that child, unless they're adopted.
Okay, then morally, you have a responsibility. And if you don't take that seriously, just because they're half the blood of someone that you love and half the blood of someone you don't.
And morally, you have an obligation to have the most responsibility for something you created.
Not necessarily.
Yes, the thing that you choose. If it's in
your care, then you should still be caring about it. You did not
bring that life into the world. That is a full responsibility of their birth parents.
No.
If they are both capable of taking care of that child.
This came up because of a post that I saw actually on Twitter, and I was talking to my mom about it, and then he got involved.
What is
the whole thing was about how it was viral about how a mom of her son, a mom has a son, right? He's an adult. He had children with he had children with
A lady that already had kids.
yes, a lady that already had kids. Well, one kid actually, who already had one kid, and the stepmom got all the kids.
No, the mother-in-law.
The mother-in-law. I'm so sorry. The mother-in-law bought matching pajamas for all the kids that were related to her. So the one kid that the mom had that wasn't related to her husband was just left out in gray sweatpants while everybody was matching in their Christmas.
Now say your piece on that completely.
In their Christmas pajamas. And I'm like, that's freaking petty. Because I feel like if it were me, I guess it's not so much the blame on the grandmother. I see that.
You were fighting me tooth and nail that day. You're saying now it's not the grandma's fault. I understand that now.
No, it's partially her fault for being petty. You don't have to be petty. Because the thing is, if you're going to do that and you know there's another child there, that child lives with them and you know that child's there and you're literally like being petty. If you were going to do that, you could have told them, if you're not going to, well, I'm not buying that child any gifts because it's not my blood. Could have let them know that. Because the kid's just there sitting, feeling left out. And I smell like apple juice.
That's your fault.
What was I saying? But I feel like you could have contacted the parents as a grandmother, as an adult. Could have contacted the parents, said like, well, I'm getting all my grandkids, my blood grandkids, these gifts. I'm not buying her child anything, but this is the pajamas. And if you want to get her one so we could all match, then yeah. It's
that's not
petty.
A moral issue at all.
That's how you brought it up, and that's how I remember. That's how you brought it up.
You saying because you place it as a moral issue, and I said that's not moral at all because she has no financial responsibility. With you saying she's being petty, she has no responsibility towards that child whatsoever.
No, duh. That's why it's
None.
petty. Not saying that she's wrong. She just petty.
You can't be petty and right.
You can be petty and either it's not right or wrong. It's just nothing. That's what being petty is.
If you're not doing anything wrong, you're not being petty.
What I mean by petty is you're choosing not to do something just because you don't have to, but
who are you to judge whether or not someone you don't have to vilify someone for not doing something they don't have to do.
Listen, you don't have to be nice to anybody. You don't have to not kill anybody. But if you do,
there's certain people you have to be nice to.
You don't have to do anything.
There's certain things that are courtesy. Courtesy is not necessary.
That is what I'm saying. It's either courtesy or pettiness.
And common courtesy is not. I don't agree with common courtesy as much.
That's stupid.
As I did because I grew up. Common courtesy, being nice for no dang reason, and that got me nothing. Well, that went on another tangent. But first, she doesn't have a financial responsibility whatsoever, nor does she have any natural or social responsibility, because she has no responsibility for that child, because over her there are going to be a whole nother, if the second parent of that child is available outside of her son, right? Outside of her son, if the other child parent's still in their life, that side will have that responsibility. If something were to happen to that mother, that child would go with that side of the family, with its biological parent, not to her, right? So that child has, this grandmother can be nice, but just because can do that thing, but because she doesn't, where's the other parent? So you're saying you having some sort of expectation that because I did this for the kids that I had my genes are in those children because I brought their parent to this world. So I feel some type of responsibility for those children, not the other child. And that child has a whole nother side that can do the same thing for that child. It's like if they wanted to. Then the side of the father of that child, is he petty for not getting the other 4 children presents but getting his child just one present when there's 4 other children?
Listen here. If he remarries someone else, then those would be his responsibility.
What do you mean?
It don't work like that.
Why doesn't it work like that?
It literally doesn't work.
Why doesn't it work like that? If she's petty for not giving one child...
Okay, let's look at the tree. Mother-in-law, son.
Mother-in-law, son, married a chick with a child already, has children.
But that doesn't change that.
Why doesn't it change the pettiness when the dad on the other side is pettiness 4 times the amount of one? What? Or the mother-in-law on the other side is petty 4 times the amount on one.
It would only make sense if he had... It doesn't... No, it doesn't work like that.
Why not?
Because, okay, it's the mom and dad's Christmas.
Mm-hmm.
Right. They're married now.
Right.
Right. They have children.
Mm-hmm.
And the extra little cutie patootie. Right?
Children and another child that's the wife's child.
Yes.
From another relationship.
Yes. Right. So, this guy over here, unless he's really nice, is not going to get stuff for these people.
Why not? Right. No, I'm saying what about his mother so it's removed the same way?
And therefore, it trickles down. That is now her step grandmother. Meanwhile...
Or, okay, oh my bad. So, wait. No, it would still work the same way.
The thing is, we have a step grandmother.
Okay.
You don't think about that?
Grandparents have no financial responsibility for their grandchildren whatsoever. They have no relational or social responsibility for that child whatsoever. The parents do because they're the one that brought their life. So I don't care. That's the thing. It's about
care level. Yes, it's about care level. This will always be a difference between us.
Right,
I think that
because
I would prefer if people cared about people regardless.
You're carrying an extra for something that doesn't. It's not necessary to life.
I'd rather you start off with care, and then you realize, well, they're not really deserving of this. Well, I may step back and do what I can for other people. But you start off in a pessimistic way.
It's not pessimistic. It's realistic. It's objective. It's you don't deserve anything that you didn't earn. The only people that have earned affection is the only people that have ever earned affection is the people that have brought you life. You have earned affection from the people that brought life. They owe you affection because they brought your life into this world. Anyone that does anything that outside of them is extra. Though your parents, parents are the only people in this life that have to be nice to you.
Listen here,
because they are responsible.
You're talking from the point of you just said that you don't believe in common courtesy like that, and I do. And that's where we're not going to connect.
It's not about a belief. It's about what's a necessity. It's not about a belief.
They're
common
good
courtesy
and
is
nice people. Despite anything, are needed in this world.
True, and what happens to them? Good and nice people.
Bad things happen to everybody.
What are good and nice people?
Bad things happen to everybody.
No. What is good and nice? What does that mean? Because that's on a spectrum.
If you don't know what that means,
being good and nice at one instance versus being good and nice all the time. Are you good because you do one thing, or are you good because you do everything good, or you do because you do more than half things good?
It's about your mindset when you're doing stuff.
It's not.
It is. It's like, are you expecting something from this?
Thanos snapped his finger to do good for the earth, killing half the population. What is he a good person?
I thought he just disappeared them.
If they didn't reverse it, they would be dead. They're gone.
Didn't they reverse it?
They reversed it.
Yeah.
But they were dead because he wanted it to happen. He said, "I am helping the planet, the population."
I thought they just whisked away.
They died.
But they only felt a little weird. They didn't feel pain.
And you're talking to me about you Christiana, I put it to fiction because I didn't want to do something real life. I'm gonna don't. Oh my God! You need to correct yourself.
Correct yourself before you wreck yourself.
No, honestly, because I mean, no, you have to apply morality is transitive.
It's
and transformative. The things that you say or that you allow here, the times you make exception for them means either you're inconsistent or you're a bad person.
You really gotta think about
morals are not.
To go back to what I was saying. The thing is, you gotta think about.
You're saying common courtesy should be the default. I believe so, but because it's not. Because there are people that take advantage of other people. Should it be the default still?
The thing is, I think you should. Well, for me, what I'm going to do with myself is going to be different to what everybody else is going to do with themselves. It's just what my opinion is. What I wish would happen is that people were more positive. I wish people were more positive about stuff.
Right, but
and then went into situations.
Right, we wish
talking
that.
to people more.
We wish that we're going to live our life wanting that to happen, but in the reality of the situation,
and the thing
us
is,
viewing and talking about reality, what is the case?
No, because
and how
in
do
reality,
people navigate?
I'm going to be nice to you first, and that's the reality. When I'm talking about these,
I think you're exchanging common courtesy and respect.
Listen.
Certain type of respect, an element of respect.
Both courtesy and respect. But what I'm saying, when we're talking about these dilemmas or situations, in order for my opinion to be brought, I put myself in the situation and what I would do. That's why I'm saying that stuff is petty. Because if it was me, you think about it like if it was you, right? In these situations.
Right. And what's the best thing to do?
What do you mean?
For if I would make the decision for me, I'm going to make the very best decision. And the very best decision
for you.
No, not just for me.
It will
but
be for you.
My consideration is what is the very best decision that everyone should make. That means to get these results, what would I direct someone else to do if they were in that situation? That's the situation. If I have to tell them to do something different from me, then I'm a hypocrite and a liar. If any direction that I would do, I would want to. Anything I do in my life, I would want to be an example for someone else.
Hey, listen here.
Even these small things, you have to do the most absolute certainty. Which will you get the best result from?
I'm sure there are
the
people
optimum conditions.
Agree with you
in the worst circumstances. The reason you disagree is because you think everything is so subjective when it's not really.
Everything is. That's how we're able to have these conversations, because we have different opinions. And based on yourself and how you carried out life, that's how the situation will go. It will be different,
right?
Maybe.
But you saying you want these optimum conditions.
Optimum.
You said you want this to be the default. You're saying in your optimism, right? You said you want everyone to want to do this. How do you get there? You have to reset. Everyone is not going to do what you want them to do. So
I'm
therefore,
going to start with myself.
You're not. That's never going to work.
I'm talking about myself.
You're not listening. That's the point of it. Is you starting with yourself. You mean nothing to 7 billion point how many people. You mean nothing to them at all. Your life will not change their life at all.
Hey.
I'm not finished what I'm saying. So you just got offended by no reason. Because this is a
I
reference to
rebuke
everyone.
that. I'm sorry.
Your life will not change their life at all
I rebuke
unless
that.
you do things that will change their life. And being optimistic instead of realistic, right? Using realism with a consideration of both what can go good and what will go wrong, what will go well if given the right conditions, and what could go wrong. If you are not stated in realism and reality of what will happen, what has happened, what can happen, what you have the opportunity to do as an individual, and the type of people that you need around you in order to get that done, then if you're just saying you want this to happen, you want to live yourself, you can do it by yourself all you want. That means nothing to billions of other people of what you're doing because they don't know you, they don't see you. But the group of people that you have around you doing, not thinking about the best thing, but being the best thing, which is recalibrates a culture and society.
Where are you going to? Yo.
Where am I going? I'm saying what I'm saying. And now you're saying, where am I going? You don't.
You're saying so much.
You're saying something is so subjective. It's not subjective because everything has a result. So what is the best way to go about it?
Result.
What is the best way to go about it?
However the fuck
Optimism.
you want to.
Think about the result you want. Now get there. How do you get there?
What do you mean the result I want? In what? What were we talking about now?
So what
is this in reference to now?
It's a reference to life. Because I just said the moral that you use in small situations and what you call petty will translate. Unless you change your mind, which right now this is what you think, and that is the thing that you're going to take into other situations until your mind changes and you think differently, for better or for worse. That is what the moral
case by case.
Case by case means that you change with the sway of the wind. If you don't know the decision that you will make given circumstances, if you cannot think about the particular circumstances that are possible, if you're waiting for life to happen to you instead of thinking about what could be, then the things that you want, you don't really want because you're just letting life happen instead of doing life. You're on play instead of playing.
That doesn't make sense.
Life is you are being moved. You are just going around in life instead of walking.
I'm adapting.
You're on a treadmill.
I think what you're saying is I'm adapting.
No.
Yeah, I'm a treadmill, and then the what called the incline keeps changing and the speed. And what am I doing? Adjusting to it.
No.
That's what I'm doing.
That life adjusts
Keep
it
that
for
in
you.
because that was good.
Life adjusts it for you.
That was good, actually.
No,
I think.
you're not adjusting.
The treadmill is adjusting itself, is moving itself, different inclines,
Making
and
the right
speeds.
decision sometimes
and then I
is good.
myself have to adjust to those speeds.
You will have to adjust to those speeds, but if you have no momentum, you will fall to your damn face.
No momentum. What do you mean?
That's if you're inclining on a treadmill. If you at first just on a treadmill,
your momentum is what
being put on the treadmill. You don't choose life. Life chooses you.
Oh my.
Someone chooses life for you. That's the only choice you don't have in this life is being born.
Okay.
After that, you don't remember choices that you make, but you're making a choice in every moment, especially when you become aware that you're making choices. That is when you are most responsible for everything that you do. And a lot of things that happen and where you are. Until someone else's choice comes in the way of yours, you are the responsible for everything that you do. And some things, you are not responsible for what happens to you. You're responsible for where you are when something happens to you. You are most responsible when you are aware of your own autonomy.
Way, I think that the grandma could have taken some steps in assuring that a child doesn't feel left out. But yeah, it's not her responsibility to do that. Maybe as uncourteous person, it could have, It could have crossed your mind like, oh, wonder how how this person will feel if I did this, and then just left them out. There are some situations where you can go above and beyond for somebody. It will just depend on the person and how they're feeling at that time, which is why I think it's subjective. Thank you very much.
With you.
Claire, calm down.
Who the heck is Claire?
Claire.
Who's Claire?
Claire.
Who's
I'm
Claire?
So sorry.
Stop calling me Claire. No, this...
Claire.
The reason why I talk about morality in this way is because if you saying it's so subjective, right? So do you believe culture influences morality?
Culture?
Yes, and society.
Where? Sometimes it'll really depend on the person. 'Cause what? Yes, but it'll depend on the person.
How much? Yes. Does it?
Yes, but it'll depend on the person.
What depends on the person? No. Always culture will influence. The influence of morality in culture, should it be different from culture to culture? Or should it be one thing? Okay, is morality different from culture to culture?
I'm saying because I'm like...
Is morality different from culture to culture?
Can we get to the point?
I can't...
Man.
Because the reason you're going to have to find parameters to set for the ones that you find too. Because those are going to be really quite probably undetailed. And if they're not undetailed...
Okay. Enemy soldiers have taken over your village. They have orders to kill all remaining civilians over the age of 2. You and some of your townspeople have sought refuge in 2 rooms of the cellar of a large house. Outside you hear the voices of soldiers who have come to search the house for valuables.
That needs more parameters, because already I'm asking questions.
Okay, fine. Okay,
You can finish it.
I couldn't find the remaining of it. I think maybe it was... I think maybe there was babies involved, so they were... Okay, let me see.
Do you put your hand over the baby's mouth for it to be quiet, or do you let it cry and potentially get caught?
Okay, you want to have a child. Preferably, you would like to have a girl. Huh?
Why is that?
Oh.
Are you going to finish reading it?
This is something we've talked about because of my class.
Then let's talk about it.
You want to have a girl who is slim.
A child that is... Are we talking about gene splicing?
Yeah. You want who is slim,
or
brown hair,
selection.
and healthy. Genetic testing would allow you to control these criteria.
Yeah, because the parameters on that is like, what is the scale of the effectiveness? What is the potential? Because at any time it could be genetic deformation. If it would have just happened regularly, then a regular birth, it would have been a natural disturbance. But with that, it would have been interrupted disturbance for if it failed. That's why I think about the positive result. You get what you want. Would you want to do it? If you get the result you want, why wouldn't you? But it sets the precedent for what if it doesn't go the way you want. Will you regret making that decision if it doesn't go the way that you want? That's what I think about with more dilemmas. Like, am I doing something that if no matter how it goes, I'm okay with the result?
Okay. Yeah.
Or I would be able to recover. I would say I made the best decision, regardless of the fact. That's what I apply to everything.
And that concludes this episode of Breathing is Highly Dangerous. Thank you all for listening and watching. This video was split in two.
This is the serious version. But we have a fun version where we go over a few more dilemmas and we have fun with it. So please tune into that one. That will be available right along with this video. Be blessed, stay blessed, and we'll see you in the next episode.